Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so what I'll say is that, like, before my Shahada, and Alhamdulillah, I took a Shahada in December, or no, February of 2012, so Alhamdulillah, I've been Shahadeen since February 2012. I've been a Shahadeen, and then I established my um, Salat prayer, the five Salat prayers. That takes, like, I think it took 6 months of, like, not having to read from the script, my Salat prayer, before I could automatically go get through a Salat prayer without having to read the script. And it was like a good instructional booklet. It helped me when, like, I felt I was being bullied in the masjid. I think there was a little bit of extremist and terrorist recruitment going on because it was in the United States. And they're like, come to the masjid. I'm like, I was really sensitive because I was like, just had taken my shahada. I was really sensitive to people trying to shove lies down my throat, and then saying, no, we're the same religion as you. But they're like already, well, no, some of them had taken they're like white guy like me, but not all white guys. Like, some have been. I've never been in a life of, like, organized crime, but these guys became Muslim because they went to prison and were offered to go on an intelligence program if they could get out of jail. Like, they become parolees, but they get in this mixture of, like, Salafi, but it kind of, like, the Taliban is like also involved, and that's really a conflict of correct Islam. Like, Saudi Arabia has the correct Aqidah. Like, they're the publishers of books that tell you correct, that publish all the classical books, the ones that are approved, that are approved by the majority of scholars of Sunnah. And Saudi Arabia is the one that has the reputation for having, like, Darus Salam. Um, with that said, though, the allyship with the United States and the intelligence program involves the Taliban, and that's like Sufi, and that can make the undercover agents that had become intelligence agents for the United States as parolees. They got out of prison if they became Muslim and went to an intelligence program in Saudi Arabia, which was at the time that Osama bin Laden was in North Yemen. So I don't know if the government encouraged them to go over there and investigate what's going on in North Yemen, or if some of the parolees just snuck. The story I was read is with the parolees or prison releasees that were Salafi and studying it. And yeah, I don't even know if they take their shahada. This one guy kept arguing that he was blessed because he went inside the Kaaba. I like kind of question, did you ever take your shahada? It's like, what are these people told, like, when they go as recently recruited intelligence agents of the United States, and they're sent to Saudi Arabia, and, oh, okay, you're allowed to come in the Kaaba. I guess that's like a really big ego booster, but it isn't really meaning anything except that two intelligence agent from one country, and an intelligence agency from an allied country, Saudi Arabia, let him walk around inside the Kaaba. So alhamdulillah, he did get a chance to do that, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like he thought that, oh, I can do no wrong now. I'm so blessed, and I'm like above you because I got to go in the Kaaba. And that doesn't mean anything, and that's what offended him. But I told him it didn't mean anything. Man, but I did get exiled from the United States at the same time. Or, like, I had to leave, or else I was gonna get really sick because I was, like, being electrocuted, like the targeted people. I didn't even know what that meant at the time. I just knew that my mental health was deteriorating and I was getting more and more epilepsy from all this harassment. But now I realize that it also involved electronic harassment. That's why I had the epilepsy, hallucination, anything. It's because like when, well, no, and I had a Nokia phone one time. It was like an early Nokia phone. It was like a BlackBerry, and that thing took over my brain until I lost it. And but then I was already like having seizures, and so I that's when I learned that I had like petit mal seizures or absence seizures. And that opens up a lot of what absence seizures are induced by people who do electronic harassment, and that opens up a lot of doors for remote neural monitoring. Once they get the absence seizures and you kind of are absent because you're having a petit mal seizure. Or absence seizure is just the other name for petit mal seizure because you're like absent. It's because you're absent-minded for a moment because you're having you don't completely black out, but it can be kind of similar to. You do have like a pause in like cognitive function in an absence seizure. It's also called a petit mal seizure.